What's happening, people? Let's get into today. So yesterday, obviously, we had Trump tweet out what he tweeted out, and that kind of shocked the market and moved the market. And now we're kind of just deciding where to go with that. So no trades from yesterday. We actually had like the trade idea play out perfectly. No trading from this area. Come down, take the decisional, and then react up. Inducement into mitigation of extreme, but obviously no entry. I don't believe. Nope. Unfortunately, right idea, right area, just obviously nothing we can do. Now on Euro today, we filled more of this area. If we look from a 4-hour perspective, filled more of this area. I would like to come and take this high, but I understand that that doesn't need to happen. We've actually now filled the hourly of this extreme area, like to a T. Just understanding we've got this imbalance and point up here, which I would like to come take. But we've had an inducement into a mitigation. And then from that, we've like kind of broken, retested, and pushed out. And off of this more or less mitigation and move, we've created a structure cycle. So off of that, I'm quite happy just to like buy off the take of that, or buy into the mitigation of the next point, which is this point here that still hasn't been filled. So what I'm kind of seeing is we've reacted medium inducement into mitigation. We've then pushed down, taken the decisional of that break. What we've then done is not broken high. We did internally induce, but I don't think buyers are going to hold. So I want to sell to buy. So yes, we did have the completion of that structure cycle in that sense, and now we're sitting in the center of the range. Now, like I said, given what we've done and that we haven't kind of filled this entire point like we have on the 10-minute, we have on the 15-minute, that is technically a medium inducement into the mitigation of the extreme. But I don't like it. We've got relative equal lows here. There's kind of two options I see. If we come down into this area, I will be looking to sell through this area to then buy through that area, just because this has already created a 2-leg. One more leg will just create absolute crap. And then the other option I had was to sell off of this area here, which we've already come in and taken. So that was the decision of this internal range that I've got anyway. We've taken that. So realistically, what I see playing out now is this. So I like the sell idea. In terms of buying, a way to buy into this, I would need to actually react off the extreme. So I need to come into the extreme, give me some type of break and retest around this area, and then buy through it. So I actually don't see that as an option, given where we are. I just want to sell, and there probably, there may actually be a sell opportunity that presents itself around now. But once it takes this high, which I believe it's pretty damn close, still hasn't taken it. So I will need to take this. So the only way I see selling as valid is once we take this. Until then, buyers. So now that it's come all the way into this point, I will need the proper confirmations in order to sell this. So I need to take the high, and then we can move off of that and get something like that. If we just push straight down here, I will be looking to buy through that. Okay. And now they're the two options. That's what I'm locking in. Happy with that. Either we're coming for this high or coming for this low or this low to then buy back up. I still think we're going to sell. I think just with what's going on in the world, I think sell still makes sense. It's just, it does make a little bit of sense to kind of come into this area here. Don't mind me just getting notifications about my security. So it makes sense to kind of come into this area here, or even take that area to then sell. But as you can see, and I want to take note of this, like look how slow this is. Like we're coming for this low, I believe. Okay, so I'm still going to be on high alert for sells. I think all this is doing is just building that liquidity for the meantime. GU, more or less the same thing. We've just kind of pushed further into this point. We just reacted off of the extreme, which on the 4-hour holds absolutely zero weight at all. On the 15-minute, it did create a structure cycle and complete that structure cycle down here. No trades as well. We did try and sell into that, but no trades. And now we've kind of broken this high, come in and taken the half of the internal decisional and failed to break. So what that symbols to me is I'm okay to sell until we take this. So I'm going to try and sell down to this. I'm I'm looking at this being a smart money trap, which lines up with what EU has done. And I will be targeting the lows. Like I want this to come to the lows. You've probably got that divergence here, so that's probably a good enough inducement. Now, like I said, I just want to kind of sell this thing. Okay, so I will be looking for that. If that already plays out before the session opens, then that already plays before the session opens, and then we'll just look to buy, which is fine. So I don't mind buys off of the take of this low, which will give what I need to see in order to have that liquidity to the upside. But the preferred entry, given that this didn't induce internally here, would actually be the external low take, which is this one here. So something like this is actually a little bit cleaner. But what this is telling me is if we read this, we've got low to high like that. The decisional itself is actually this area here. This is now proving this as a smart money trap. I now want to sell through the entire decisional until I get to extreme. Okay, so that's just with my rules. That's what I'm going to find. I like GU and I like the distance we've got. I like the liquidity we've got building up under. I'm actually really okay to take that. So GU is on high alert for me today. AU, we've had the daily break of structure to the downside. We've then internally broken, pushed really, really quickly into this area of decisional. Realistically, that is the decisional. Into that area of decisional, which is like the 4-hour decisional. Realistically, 4-hour decisional here, which is kind of like this entire point, which I think we've already like kind of pushed into. It's way too 50-50. I think buys make sense once we take this internal retest. Then this can be a smart money trap to get that. Okay, but sells into that make a lot of sense. Remember, we are at a lower low. As much as this did mitigate a point, and this does look like an inducement, we've mitigated the decisional straight away. We're at least coming for this. And we didn't create the structure cycle up to that point either, unfortunately. What we've kind of got is if you have that as a mitigation and then that is the next break, you've kind of already completed the internal structure cycle in here. So yeah, I don't see a lot of buyers in control at the moment. So I like that idea or that idea. Okay, there are the two ideas there. But GU is the one for me today. In terms of the DXY, kind of just messing about, not really actually doing a lot. We're still in this area of decisional. It makes sense for it to actually come lower. But given what everything else has done, I still like buys. I still like this going up and everything else selling. It's just how I'm viewing it. But it does look like it's going to sell through this, I will say. Given the structure it's building, it does look like it's going to sell through this point to then give us that, which will line up with a bit more of the high time frame stuff on EU and GU and AU. Give us a bit of a retracement, come and take those decisionals and those extremes, and then give the sell-off here. But the slow movement down, I think still long-term bullish on the DXY. So that's what I'm looking at coming into today. Live today with the group. So if you're in the premium, I'll see you on the live. Other than that, continue on with the week. I will send out anything. You've got premium down below, Twitter, all the free links and stuff down below as well. And let's continue on.